The new Menards Chessie System Operation Lifesaver Boxcar with flashing LEDs on this exciting episode of Toy Train Tips and Tricks. Hello again, this is Mike, your non-AI generated host. And these are my latest purchase from Menards. If you are new to the hobby, Wisconsin-based home improvement chain Menards has been producing and selling their own unique line of O and HO scale trains for about a decade now. And while the trains are only on the main store shelves in the fall and winter, they can be found at most locations upstairs in the seasonal overstock section. Plus, they can be ordered online year-round for site-to-store shipment or even to your home in most U.S. states. Last week, Menards was offering a sales promotion online that if you purchased any train item of $24.99 or more, you got a package of trees for free. I'd been debating with myself about picking up one of Menards' new Operation Lifesaver Boxcars, and this promotion put me over the top. I just had to place an order. Delivery to my local store took about 5 business days, and here's my order. Now, one of the things I like about ordering online is that you get the master carton along with the plastic clamshell packaging. Extra protection. Looking first at the trees, I must say that I'm quite impressed. I was expecting something like the old Lifelike brand Lichen on a Stick trees from my childhood, but these are really nice. At 5.5 inches tall, they scale out to about 22 feet in O scale for a nice medium-sized tree. I'll have to find a place for these on the layout. But now for the star of the show, the Chessie System Operation Lifesaver Boxcar with flashing LED lights. Menards offered a similar Union Pacific car last year, but I passed on it then. It was the Chessie System markings that convinced me to bite on this one. While Menards frequently offers cars with LED lights, such as these boxcars, plus lighted covered hoppers, and of course cabooses with flashing lights as well, I had not previously purchased one of these Menards products. Before opening the clamshell, I can already see that there's an issue with one of the trucks. If Menards trains have an Achilles heel, it is quality control. This is the second consecutive Menards purchase I've made that has had some damage in some way. Let's hope it's not too bad. Luckily, the electrical pickup is not properly seated in the truck, which is a simple repair to make. But again, I should not have to make such a repair on a new item in the box. And it's hard to see how this damage could have been caused in shipping. It had to have left the factory this way. To fix it, just make sure the copper strips go under the wheel axles, and the plastic fingers on the sides of the assembly should fit neatly into the truck's side frames. If I had missed this defect and put the car on the track with power, a short circuit would have resulted and possibly could have destroyed the circuit board for the LEDs. Comparing the Chessie car to a standard Menards boxcar, you can see that they're the same casting with similar markings. The only real difference on the shell is the addition of the LED lighting. Both cars are based on tooling first produced by Auburn model trains in the 1950s. This is a nearly scale model of the 40-foot boxcars that were popular at that time. The brake detail was added later when the dies became property of Williams trains in the 1980s. While it's a nice detail, the air brake depicted by this piece is not appropriate for cars of this era. Underneath, however, the older car has metal trucks and early post-war style plates for magnetic uncoupling, while the operating car has plastic trucks with thumbtack-style couplers. Maybe this was to reduce the price point with the additional electronics, or maybe it was because the metal trucks do not accept the roller pickup assembly. By the way, these pickups are very nice, and with rollers at each end, you are certain to get good electrical continuity to your lights. With the metal trucks on the older boxcar, it weighs in at about an ounce heavier than the operating car. Also, as scale models, both Menards cars are slightly larger than a traditional Lionel 6464 or 9700 series type boxcar. The Chessie System markings on the boxcar are pure fantasy, as no such car existed in the real world. Also, while the colors and the logo are correct for Chessie System, the vermilion stripe should be a straight stripe, not a wave, for true Chessie-style decoration. And also the end markings would be C and O in this case, not Chessie. That said, the decoration is nice. Each car is individually numbered thanks to the ubiquitous Menards stickers, but there is a very slight overspray on the vermilion wave, hardly noticeable. The Operation Lifesaver markings are crisp, and of course there are the LED lights. Speaking of Operation Lifesaver, what exactly is it? Well, Operation Lifesaver is a nonprofit organization that began in 1972 in Idaho as a response to a high number of collisions at highway rail-grade crossings, which exceeded 12,000 incidents annually in the United States at the time. The program was initiated as a 6-week public awareness campaign in conjunction with the Union Pacific Railroad, promoting the Stop, Look, and Listen safety message. The campaign resulted in a 43% reduction in crossing-related fatalities in Idaho that year. Following this success, the program expanded across the United States, Canada, Mexico, and even to Europe and South America. Since its inception, Operation Lifesaver has significantly reduced rail-related incidents, with highway rail crossing collisions dropping from around 12,000 in 1972 to about 2,200 in 2024. And many North American railroads have painted special locomotives and rolling stock to help promote Operation Lifesaver year-round. Going back to our car, it's time for a preliminary smoke test on the workbench. I set my transformer at around 5 volts, and it works. We'll get to troubleshooting tips in a moment, but first I'd like to pause a second and ask that if you're enjoying the video so far, please like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want even more behind-the-scenes insights, consider supporting the channel financially through a membership. Members receive access to exclusive video content, shoutouts, special community messages, and, when available, early access to published videos. Thank you all for your support, and now, back to how to prevent future problems with your boxcar. Going back to Menards and quality control, I have heard a few horror stories about Menards lighted cars, and I have a few suggestions to help avoid unnecessary grief. First, check the wires going to the roller assemblies. Make sure the red and white wires are not touching and they are not frayed. Now carefully open the car up by removing the 4 corner screws. Check the connections on the LEDs. An extra large clump of solder or a bent connector may be all it takes to generate a short circuit and possibly to fry your board. If anything looks too close for comfort, add some liquid electric insulating compound and make sure these connections do not touch. Likewise, look at the circuit board. Make sure nothing is loose and no wires are touching one another. Also, note that the board is marked 16 volts. I would take that number as a maximum input specification, so be especially careful if you're using an older post-war type transformer that could pump out 20 volts or more. In any case, avoid running this car at full voltage if at all possible. I would also suggest that you recheck the wiring anytime this car suffers a fall or excessive jostling, just to be sure the wiring has not come loose. Now let's carefully reassemble and check out the lighting in the dark. That's a pretty neat effect. If the red glow coming through the boxcar sides bothers you, try painting the inside of the boxcar body. And so, there it is, a fun and rather inexpensive addition to any O-gauge railroad. Lights are always fun, and flashing lights even more so. Plus, you could do your part to encourage safety on the real railroads by running your Operation Lifesaver car for friends and family. To recap, the bad. Menards quality control, or lack thereof, strikes again. Be prepared to do a little inspection and possibly repair on your item before you put it on the track. Also, if you're a rivet counter looking for prototypical realism, pass this one by, as neither the concept nor the paint scheme existed in real life. But who cares, really? The plastic trucks may be a turnoff for some, but again, this may be the only way that Menards can mount their roller assembly to the cars. And the car is not available for shipping in all states. If you live in one of those states with stricter packaging laws, maybe you can convince a friend to smuggle one across state lines for you. Disclaimer: Toy Train Tips and Tricks does not encourage illegal activity of any sort. This is a joke. Thank you. And now the good points. The car is fun. Enough said. The car is colorful. Flashing lights are always a hit. You can support Operation Lifesaver with your model railroad. And the car is right-sized, big enough for scale layouts but not too big for O27 operators. And the price is right. At $34.99 before rebates, you can almost buy 4 of these for the price of a single MTH or Lionel car these days. What's not to love? And as for me, it's time to turn off the lights and watch this cool car run around the layout for a while. Keep the trains running, and we'll catch you next time with more toy train tips and tricks.